Hey everybody, and welcome back to Walks in Wall Street. It is a beautiful day in Miami and we are going to be exploring Brickell Key at sunset. But we're going to take the alternative route because I want to show you the construction site of one of the most exciting new projects in Miami. It is the Mandarin Oriental Residences. The developer is Swire Properties, and they're going to be spending more than $1 billion to build two high-end Mandarin Oriental branded towers on Brickell Key's last remaining buildable lot. So let's go ahead and get this tour started. And you'll see some amazing views overlooking the one and only Aston residences, downtown Miami. And as we get further over the bridge to Brickell Key, you'll even be able to see to South Beach. So just for some context, this is now looking over towards downtown Miami. You can see the W Hotel and the Icon residences, as well as the Aston Tower, which is in downtown Miami. Now there's only one way to get on and off the island here at Brickell Key, and it's this bridge. So as you can tell, it's very active. Lots of people after work walking their dogs, getting exercise in. And I'm excited to show you guys the island. Now the building that you're looking at right now, this is the hotel. This has been here for quite some time. But right behind it is going to be the lot where they're going to build the residences. This is looking back towards Brickell Village. And another new Class A office tower is going to be built as well. It's going to be One Brickell City Center, which is going to connect to the existing Brickell City Center. You have tons of businesses moving down here, particularly in the financial space. If you want to talk about private equity, Thoma Bravo, which is Orlando Bravo's private equity firm, which specializes in enterprise software, they have now moved to Miami. If you want to talk about the market making business on Wall Street and the hedge fund business, you have Citadel Securities. Ken Griffin is now right here in Miami as well. They're going to be building their Class A office tower in Brickell. And then you have JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon's company, just announced more employees will be moving to Miami. So there's definitely going to be no shortage of demand for these new development projects. Okay, we are now officially on the island of Brickell Key. In our last tour, we made this left, and walking around the river walk towards the Aston building. For this tour, we're going to make a right. We'll cross the street, and we'll check out the Mandarin Oriental. Lots of traffic coming on and off. Kind of have to be careful crossing. Okay, this is the main entrance to Mandarin Oriental Miami. This is the hotel. You can imagine how beautiful the sunsets are here. And this walking path goes all the way around the island. And here's your view overlooking Brickell. That tall building in the distance, that's actually the tallest building in Miami right now. That is the Panorama Tower. However, that is soon to be dethroned by the Waldorf Astoria residences that is currently being built in downtown Miami, right outside Bayfront or Bayside Marketplace. That's going to be the tallest residential building south of the World Trade Center in New York City. Look at how beautiful these views are. Stunning sunsets. I'll give you one more shot looking back towards the Mandarin, or excuse me, towards Aston Martin residences. And now let's continue on the walk. You can see the outdoor dining area here. Now, one of the towers is going to be topped by a 2,300 square foot duplex, which has its own infinity pool and private elevator in the lobby. Now, if you want to know where prices are going to start at 4.9 million for a 2-bedroom unit. Completion date to be determined, but you're probably thinking about 2029 when residences would be expected to move in. Now, we can't go any further, but I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a view over the fence, just so you could see. Now, the smaller of the two towers at the Mandarin Oriental is going to be the new hotel. This one, I believe, is slated to be torn down. This opened in the year 2000, so not too sure what they're going to repurpose the space with. But let's start to head back, and I'll try to give you another angle or another shot of the construction site from the other end. Now, sales are expected to not break records, absolutely shatter records at the new Mandarin Oriental residences. If you think about, to date, the most expensive condo ever sold on Brickell Key, it happened during the height of the pandemic craziness when the market went wild. $7.8 million. So this new tower is slated to absolutely smash records. And if the main trophy penthouse at the Mandarin Oriental Residences sells, the current list price, they're seeking $100 million for the penthouse that sits on top of the 66-story tower. I guess we'll have to see what happens. Now, if you want to talk about the ultra luxury market here in Miami, particularly condos, you could talk about the Bentley residences that are being built in Sunny Isles Beach. You also have the two St. Regis towers that are being built just off to the left of the Porsche Design Tower. But right next to the Bentley is the Turnberry Ocean Club and Residences. And that is almost a complete sellout, and it's been commanding absolutely record-breaking prices. The St. Regis just broke ground, and I believe the entire South Tower is almost completely sold out. And this is pre-construction. So it seems like the demand for the high quality ultra luxury in Miami is still very strong. Where I do see weakness, and where I think you'll continue to see weakness, is in some of the older condominiums. For example, older condos built during the 70s and 80s and even 90s that are in disrepair and coming up on special assessments. What I believe will happen to those, because the majority of people will probably not be able to pay these special assessments, there'll probably be private equity or developers that'll come in and offer to buy out the entire building. Now, when that happens, the developers can then tear down the building and unlock the underlying land value. And it's crazy to think about this, but it's quite possible that the land is more valuable than the entire building that sits on top of the land right now. So you're probably going to start to see a lot of stories here in South Florida, particularly Miami, Fort Lauderdale, about this very problem. People getting hit with these large assessments. If they can't pay, there's going to be trouble. But I think things will actually work itself out, because chances are they'll probably be bought out and make way for new development. So if anything, there'll probably be a flight to quality in Miami. You'll see some distress in the older condo units. You'll see probably a lot of distress there. And that continued flight to quality. Let's explore back here a little bit. And then we'll head back on that walking path. But as you can tell, it's a very quiet, very quaint and peaceful island. You can see all this is blocked off, but I'll try to give you a peek over the fence so you can see what's going on. Here you have another entrance to the Mandarin Oriental. And let's see if I can get you up and over the fence. See the future development site sign. You might as well take a look at the valet so we could document this, because this is going to be coming down. Now in New York City, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel is right at Columbus Circle, which is 59th Street, Central Park South, in the Deutsche Bank Center. Now, it didn't used to be called the Deutsche Bank Center. It used to be called the AOL Time Warner Center. And now the German investment bank took over. So if you like the Mandarin Oriental brand, they also just completed the Mandarin Oriental residences on 5th Avenue in New York City. And if you need any help navigating the luxury condo market in either New York City or Miami, feel free to send me an email at the email address below. We are the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman, one of the top producing luxury real estate teams in the nation. We'd be more than happy to guide you through that process, particularly down here in South Florida. Let's go ahead and head back. I just wanted to give you a quick look at the development site, but now I want to show you the walking path on the other side to kind of give you a visualization. If you were to live here, or if you're thinking about buying a unit at the Mandarin Oriental, this is what your lifestyle would be. And it's perfect timing because the sun is just going to be setting over Miami, and you're going to see beautiful views of downtown and Aston Martin. Right now you can see the 200 Southeast Financial Center, which is this building right here, and this is the Aston Martin Tower. Now Citadel Securities, their temporary headquarters was on the 20th floor of the Financial Center. That used to be the WeWork. Obviously now they're in Brickell. I still think they have a temporary office on the 20th floor, but the big plans is for Ken Griffin to build that office tower in that lot in Brickell. Everything is always nicely landscaped, very meticulously manicured. It's a beautiful island, Brickell Key. Always people out running, getting exercise. It's a big dog community too. Here's one more shot looking back at the Mandarin. Let's go ahead and cross the street and get back onto the Riverwalk. Here you also have the trolley. So this trolley is free. It's hop on, hop off. Super convenient. So imagine the views from that construction site. You're not going to have anything obstructing your views. And I believe the tower is going to be 850 feet tall. Groundbreaking in 2025. this is what your lifestyle is going to be like. Beautiful manicured walking path, running path, lots of outdoor activities, and you're very close to all the nightlife in Brickell, but you're away from all the noise when you come back home, which is fantastic. It's the good thing about Brickell Key. You're close enough, either walking distance, running distance, or taxi or cab, or if you have a driver, to all the main nightlife in Mary Brickell Village, but you're not living right on top of it. You can actually have an oasis to come back to where it's going to be quite quiet and private.
No sé, igual.
You just get that incredible sunset over Miami. Sometimes you can see sea turtles in the water here.
Ja.
Right now, if you look directly across the water, you're going to see the Epic Hotel or the Epic Tower Marina. And they usually have lots of nice boats and yachts parked all along the water just before the Brickell Bridge. And of course you have the Aston Martin. As you curl around, you're going to be able to see where a lot of the cruise ships go in and out. And depending on if it's clear or not, we may be able to see all the way to South Point Park. And just south of South Point Park is the one and only Fisher Island.
Let's do this one. I'm sure he's giving you Alan, right? Or not?
Me lo mandé, pues me pareció genial.
There's actually quite a lot of pedestrian traffic. It's about 7:25 on a Tuesday, July 2nd. This is what you would consider the off-season, but there seems to be a lot of people here. It's actually very encouraging.
pared escarchada, no la lijó y se fue.
Now I want to turn the camera to the left because you're going to be able to see the main Ferris wheel at Bayside Marketplace all the way in the distance. And the MacArthur Causeway that's going to take you from downtown Miami to South Beach and drop you right off at Alton Road. Just an unbelievable view here. And I want to point out one more construction site right in between the 200 Southeast Financial Center. That kind of raggedy looking building with all the graffiti on it, that's going to be totally torn down. And that's going to be one Bayfront Plaza. And there's going to be a connector bridge apparently to the Metro Mover station. And that's going to be another Class A office tower. So hopefully this gives you a perspective of kind of what the average night would be like should you purchase at the Mandarin Oriental residences. You'll get to kind of see what the lot looks like, what those exposures kind of looking south, north, east, and west. And at 850 feet tall, you know, you're above most everything. Well, not most everything, you're above everything on Brickell Key. So you're gonna have unobstructed views of Brickell, downtown Miami, Fisher Island, out to South Beach. Should be pretty spectacular. There's Bayside Marketplace again in the distance. Let me see if I could zoom in. And you could see all the way to Edgewater. That is the skyline of Edgewater there.
Pasear y correr y saltar.
Now, all the way in the distance, we can now see Fisher Island. It's that little island, well, it looks little. And you can see the skyline of South Point Park, which is right here. So you have all of South Point Park and exposures overlooking Fisher Island. Now, the other exposures, you can now see the skyline of downtown Miami with the very famous Zaha Hadid building, which is 1000 Museum. Let's continue on to get a little bit better look of South Point Park, the south of 5th neighborhood, and more of Fisher Island.
They do that at night.
There is Fisher Island. The wind is picking up a little bit. Everyone seems to be so in shape here. It's like almost everyone looks like an Olympic athlete. This is the gorgeous walkway though, my God. Let's have one more look at Fisher Island. So you can see all these condos here have eastern exposures overlooking the South the 5th neighborhood and Fisher. So here's a clearer view of Fisher Island. There's going to be a new development that I believe they just broke ground on. It's called 6 Fisher Island.
There's a sign at like.
So just to give you an idea of where we are, we've pretty much almost walked around the entire island of Brickell Key. That's the Mandarin Oriental. So we did the whole entire triangle and a loop back around to Brickell Key Park. Just to give you a perspective of where the construction site of the residences are and where we've walked so far. And this should be closed off due to the construction site, but once that's complete, it's going to loop all the way around. Just off to your right, those are Clusia hedges. Those are the best hedges to plant for privacy. These are these big waxy green leaves. And if you don't trim them, they'll just continue to grow. 25, 20, 30 feet tall. So if you're gonna buy a single family home, don't buy a fence. Just plant a bunch of the Clusia hedges. All right, so we're coming up to the end of the walkway. You can see it's going to be fenced off just like the other side was near the Mandarin Oriental. This is going to be under construction, and we'll be sure to do another walking tour once this is complete. Once again, if you need help or you're interested in finding yourself a place at the new Mandarin Oriental residences, go ahead and send me an email here at the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. And if you're interested in any other properties down here, feel free to send me an email, and I'd be more than happy to film a personal video for you, a walking tour around any neighborhood you want, fully narrated. But before we go, I'll get you over the fence here so we can check on the construction. And that's where we were standing before on the other side of the fence. And you can see the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. So it's going to be exciting to see what is to come over the next few years here in Miami. But if you enjoyed this walking tour and you'd like to see more walking tours of Miami, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.